Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out why there's no audio on YouTube. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Give me a second. Double checking something. Hmm. Okay. Looks like everything should be out, but hmm. What about now? No. All right. Well, I'm gonna assume that everybody on X can hear me. I'm not sure why audio is not going out to YouTube, but everything on my side shows that it should be. So, uh, trying to everything's coming through. I can hear it on my side, and it looks like everything's going through. So, I'm just gonna assume that 16 people are uh, not just hanging out for no audio. So, uh, anyways, sorry, got flustered trying to figure out what's going on. Like I said, trying to get back in the routine of things and uh, smooth this out. Okay. All right. Anyways, so um, next thing, I guess, as far as like dad stuff, the one thing that I was thinking about earlier, because can't remember the actual account name, like what the handle is, but one of the homeschool accounts I follow on X had posted a thing talking about like all the fake food and everything that we have, in the grocery store. Pretty much anything that's like in the inner aisles is all just chemicals and random stuff that they've designed and made and whatever in a lab, and how important it is, from a homeschool perspective, that like one of the reasons why we homeschool and most people homeschool, um, uh, is that we want to be able to help let them consume, better things, but be able to consume better habits and uh, better direction as far as like attitudes and stuff go and everything. But one of the other things is that we here focus a lot on trying to look at what we consume in all aspects of life. So whether it is media, um, TV, movies, music, all that kind of stuff. We watch that, and what our kids are exposed to. But also, like this last, I don't know, last 3 or 4 years, really, we've been slowly um, getting all the processed food and junk and everything out, and finding alternatives, and finding things that work for us, and finding, you know, place that we can get raw milk, place that we can get farm raised eggs, until we can get a property and everything, and try to do some of those things on our own. But you know, the world now that, like, a lot of people are looking at RFK Jr. because of his endorsement of Trump. Um, there's more eyes on it, where people that were just Trump people weren't going to pay attention to him and whatnot. But the things that he's come out and said and talked about, um, and pointed people in a direction of, on like the Tucker Carlson show, and then recently the brother and sister doctors that were on Tucker's show were talking about the medical field and all the things that they do, and so many people just kind of go, "Oh, this is just part of life. We're just doing it. We don't have control over it." But ultimately, you do have control of it. We seeked out a specific pediatrician for our kids based on the values of that pediatrician, and things that they do in their office, and we seek out specific foods, and we look for certain things. So it's all about finding options that work for you, because not everybody can just drop everything and go 100%, 100% homeschool, 100%, you know, farm raised meat, eggs, milk, etc. Um, and you know, adding in everything, because I mean, the chemicals that you put in your clothes, the chemicals that you clean your house with, I mean, it just adds up. All the stuff that they're putting out there for us that they claim is safe, um, and it's actually poison. And the more that we expose ourselves to it, the worse it is. And we, we just try to do our best, which is what we try to tell people is like, do your best, because a lot of times it feels like people are preaching and saying like, hey, why are you eating that? Why are you doing this? Whatever. And it's like, we're not perfect. We're not 100% clean all the time. Like, we got to do stuff. We got to make things happen. Um, and so, we're not 100% always going to be able to do everything 100% clean, but it's all about trying and replacing like one thing at a time, like finding whatever it is, clean shampoo or soap, hand soap in the bathrooms and stuff or whatever. And, you know, and replacing your eggs you know, one food item at a time, even, just trying to find different options that work. Um, because it's better to do something than nothing and just accept defeat. Because, like I said, if you just jump into everything all gung ho, then you're just going to be swamped and not going to want to do any of it. But if you do a little bit at a time, uh, then it makes it easier. But eventually you'll get to a point and be like, everything's clean. We're doing everything that we want to do. We're in control 100% of what we're consuming. And, you know, you start to feel better, you think better, and uh, it just progresses from there. And then it becomes natural. Then it's just, a matter of habit and stuff. Um, so, whenever for us, like people, even our friends and stuff, think that we're a little overbearing or whatever, but like we don't just let our kids watch anything or have, it's very controlled about like what they see. And there's certain things that we thought were decent, and then come to, start to kind of really listen or pay attention to and be like, it's gonna lead into negative behaviors. And we talk to them about it and stuff. And it's all a process, but ultimately at the end of the day, I'm the parent, I'm the one that's making the decisions. And the the kid is under my care, so I am responsible to give them the best life and give them the best food and um, you know nourishment of their mind and their soul. And so I own that by trying to uh, find the best things for them, whether it's food or entertainment. Like I was pumped the other day whenever I got a follow from Tuttle Twins, because I love Tuttle Twins. If you haven't checked it out, even if you're adult, don't have kids, it's a funny little cartoon. It's free on Angel Studios, and there's tons of other good stuff on there too. But Angel Studios app, you can get on there and check out Tuttle Twins. My kid, my oldest, she absolutely loves it. She would watch it all the time if I let her watch that much TV. But it's super well put together. It's not one of those like cheesy type of cartoons where it's like, oh, it's supposed to be liberty and everything. It's really good, well done, well researched. It's created and written by very smart people. So, like I said, it's very well done. I recommend it to anybody. But yeah, I mean, my kid loves that stuff, and we still watch VeggieTales. So all uh my Christian folks out there grew up on VeggieTales. We still uh watch that in this house, and those things are funny. And kids always find it funny because we find a bunch of old stuff. So she always calls it old school. She's like, I want to watch old school because it'll be old school Ninja Turtles or um, something like that or whatever. So she calls it old school, which is, you know, ages me a little bit. I'm like, I'm not that old, but to her, to her, I am. And all the old TV shows that we used to watch weren't all, whatever 3D animated and everything. It was all, uh, most part 2D stuff. So it's all flat. So she knows that it's definitely not something that's new. But yeah, so I'm trying to kind of think of uh, some more random dad stuff. But the gun ownership thing is big to me. I've always wanted to, get uh, my kid out there and shoot a little bit. We've basically done firearm safety, the 5 rules, with Nerf guns and set up little. My cat's going crazy. He's losing his mind. Um, bro. Uh, but sorry, train of thought. Cat, gotta leave me alone. But yeah, get my kid out and teaching her the safety, and that's just one aspect of feeding them good information and teaching them solid lessons, things that will help them in more areas than one. Um, so uh, we besides the Tuttle Twins and VeggieTales, like anytime that anything new comes out, we're screening it, we're looking at it. We use like Movie Guide and Common Sense Media to kind of be able to snoop on new releases and see what they think and what they're listing stuff as, even though that they're not always 100% anyways. But it's a good tool. So if you have kids and you want to kind of pre-screen stuff before you watch it, definitely check out Common Sense Media um, and Movie Guide. They got pretty much everything like within like a day or two of its release in theaters. It'll give you a rundown and tell you uh, good, the bad, the ugly, and it's a nice little tool. Now, of course, it's up to you how you decipher that and go forward with that. But it's a nice tool for us. It gives us a heads up so that we know what we're getting into and what movies to avoid. Um, which normally we're already kind of tuned in because social media plays such a big part in everything that whatever people are already spreading stuff. But sometimes it's rumors. Sometimes they're just trying to destroy something just because they want to destroy something. So you never know until you get uh, a real review. But yeah, so um, so part of the consuming thing. I don't know if you've seen this, but uh, one of the things that we use. There's a bunch of different apps and stuff out there that we've used and stuff to kind of look and educate about uh, the ingredients in food. But the there's an app called Bobby Approved, and there's a guy, you may know him. He's made videos all over different stuff. But he has an app you can scan stuff at the store and be able to like look up all the ingredients and be able to see like which ones are kind of flagged as being not so clean or whatever. Um, but he's done a bunch of videos where he goes to different places and compares foods. Um, and the one that was big and went super viral, I guess, because even like Joe Rogan was talking about it on his podcast, was going into Dunkin' Donuts and ordering one of their whatever coffees, um, and showing that like 2 cups next to each other, and one's like pretty much full of sugar, and sugar's obviously bad for multiple reasons, but like they link it to cancer growth, um, and they it tears down your body so you can get sick more in general, beyond just uh, getting cancer. Um, so whenever I look at people and I see people walking around with a big giant Dunkin' Donuts cups, I'm like, what are you doing? you gotta be out of your mind. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there who drink energy drinks and stuff, wherever, but me, I drink black coffee from Stocking Mill coffee roasters. Those guys are legit. They're have a hilarious presence on X, but their coffee is fantastic, and I know it's being properly sourced. They get the best beans, and it carries over into my cup of coffee. I can taste it. It's legit good coffee, and I do pour over style because I'm all fancy and I don't have a lot to. I don't. I don't want water going through plastic machines and Keurigs and stuff or whatever because I'm nuts. But so I do pour over coffee with the Stocking Mill, and it's just smooth. Drink it black, no sugar, no extra cream, none of that stuff, and get going. Either you make 2 cups of coffee or 4 cups of coffee, depending on how crazy the day is going to be. But that sugar that's in those Dunkin' Donuts. I saw that video and I was like, I can't believe people consume this. And I see people all the time posting on whatever X, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, with these big cups. They're heading off to go do something. I'm like, that's insane. First of all, I don't know how you do it because I don't drink that much sugar or anything, eat that much sugar at all anymore. And it would probably make me sick, but it's definitely making you sick, whether you know it or not. If you notice drinking all those things and then, you're like, I don't know why I'm getting sick so much. It's like, well, probably because you're drinking half a pound of sugar every time that you go and get one of these drinks from Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, and them ain't really any better. Dunkin's probably the worst I've seen whenever people do comparisons, um, but yeah, just get some black coffee, maybe drop some honey in there if you need a little bit of sweetener, and some raw milk or raw cream if you really need to break it down. But let's really examine what we're starting our days off with, because it can't be good. It just can't be. And so anyways, just going on a tangent because I saw it the other day and me and my wife were talking about it when we were out running around, and because we passed the Dunkin' and we just went off on a little tangent, and it made me think about how I wanted to talk about some of the consuming aspect of what we do and how we uh, how we live here and the things that we're trying to teach our kids. And I mean, my kids, I give them dessert, but it's like it's very limited. They know what they can get, they know what they're not going to get, and they appreciate it. It's a treat. And sometimes occasionally we'll do like cupcakes or something like that, but like a lot of times it's something that's natural, like all fruit popsicles or something. um but yeah, the Dunkin' Donuts is just crazy. That sugar, pretty much the whole thing. It's like I don't like just blending it down till it dissolves just enough until it's drinkable, and still call it coffee. Yeah, it's not coffee. But anyways, I really wish that the X stuff would pop up because I wanted to do like some Q&A and stuff. I know that I've gotten a bunch of new followers on all 3 platforms, on X and um, on Facebook and on Instagram. I've been getting increased followers, so I was kind of wanting to see if anybody wanted to chime in and drop some questions for me, whether it's personal questions or stuff about the brand and everything. I'm assuming that maybe like 15 are my FBI agents watching and seeing if I was going to say anything stupid tonight. But just, yeah, nobody's in there. But finally, my cat lay down and chilled out, so I can focus a little bit better. Um, yeah, so I guess I'll kind of wait and see if anybody pops in with questions and stuff. But I'll go ahead and kind of do a rundown for everybody that's listening. I'll do the official release probably like right at like midnight, and then I'll do another post and stuff in the morning or whatever for the sale. I'm gonna run a 25% off everything, hoodies, t-shirts, and for 2 weeks. So September 13th will be the end of the sale, and uh, the code is anti-commie because obviously right now there's a bunch of people losing their minds wanting to go, go full on And there's a lot of great stuff that I just dropped. The communism is demonic, and I got the uh, somebody had requested a Joe McCarthy is right or was right shirt, so that's in there. Um, then you have to shoot your way out of socialism. That's another one that's on there. Uh, but so there's a lot of good anti-economy stuff that's going on the site recently. But of course, we have everything from abolishes of ATF, FBI, IRS, and the Fed, all that. And got this shirt, the Vote Harder. I'm sure it'll work this time. This is one of my newer shirts. I was gonna do, and maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I wanted to kind of do a shirt comparison and show people like this shirts. I've had them for a while, but I've gone through different iterations where I was printing through different print providers and deciding that I didn't like either the type of shirt or the type of print quality. And now I've finally, I guess I've been with the same people for about a year now and got it set up to where I really like the quality. It's consistent. The pricing's fine, all that stuff. But the how well the shirts wear over time also was a big factor because obviously I don't want to sell stuff that's not going to last. Um, and I had done some tri-blend shirts for a while, and I'll show whenever I do a video, I'll show you. There's a couple of them in there that they're like 3 years old, but they're faded out because the printer and the type of shirt was just not good. So now like this one's like real clear and crisp. Um, and I mean I've worn this one a bunch of times. Um, I do like to hang dry all my stuff, and just I've been like that for a long time. I guess it's because my wife's always hang dry and everything. We've done that since we've been together, so uh, going on whatever 14 years, 15 years. So been hanging my clothes the whole time, and obviously drying some stuff wherever athletic stuff wherever can get dry, but I try to hang all my shirts and anything that's nicer or whatever I hang dry. So that I do recommend people do it just because it gives you the most out of the shirt, but it's not required. It's not part of the care instructions. It's just kind of way that I like to do it, and that's the way I recommend it. And now I have it set up to whenever you get an order, you'll end up getting a little card that has like a reminder, like, "Hey, these are the best practices." So um, I've got that all set up and stuff. So I want to give a product that lasts, that's worth your money, and also starts conversations. And like I said earlier, I started the brand because all the other patriotic, Brovet, uh, whatever, Liberty apparel companies and stuff just weren't making stuff that I wanted to wear. And I started talking to some of my friends, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't really like any of their stuff. The quality is not there. The designs aren't there, or they're too much." Because like Grunge Style does the whole like I don't know, it's like too much going on. All the tap out type shirts, like a bunch of stuff going on. I like a real simple, clear cut design, no nonsense, and try to be straight to the point. Which of course, that's part of my whole thing is starting conversations, igniting dialogue, and embracing liberty is my tagline. So that's what I think about whenever I build most of my shirts. Some of my shirts are kind of funny because I started leaning into some of my dad joke stuff. Like my buddy, uh, my one friend, my best friend, he was like, "Hey, it'd be funny if you made a shirt that said I'm not pregnant," but it's like obviously meant for guys. So I found a nice little setup and um, got like a retro dad uh, drawing in there, and then it says I'm not pregnant. So it's supposed to be hilarious, and it's picking fun at the fact that it's 2024, and of course, like anybody can have a baby and stuff. It'd pair nicely if you were walking with your wife and she was wearing the only biological women can get pregnant shirt. That'd be just like the two for there. Uh, but yeah, so I have some funny stuff on there, but a lot of it is really purpose driven to start conversations and make people either kind of think about it later and talk about it or just kind of ponder themselves. Um, but I mean, I've had a bunch of conversations started with people down here in Florida, like a bunch of the older community see The one that gets the most is repeal the Patriot Act. I've been stopped countless times by older people that say like, "Hey, what is the Patriot Act again?" And then I started breaking stuff down for them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, definitely repeal that." So um, it's cool because I get to have, I get to meet people, start conversations. I've made some friends, and made some connections and stuff wherever from the shirts. And there's customers that have told me the same thing. Friends of mine, and then other like customers that don't know me at all. I've reached out and said like it's funny because I've made like friends or built connections with people uh, based on the conversation that was started with the shirt. So, and that's kind of the idea is like we got to grow the community because we got to start focusing more in our own world because everybody is so focused on the presidential election, but we know how that goes. It's like 4 years in, 4 years out, one way, this way, strong power on one side and then strong power on the other side. It's just a tossing of waves, but it's all that stuff's going to come down to your local. And so, really, we should all be focusing on who our sheriff is and focusing on where we get our food from, locally sources, at least in your state, source some food and stuff. Because if things were to crumble, you need to eat. You need to have people that are gonna join together and defend one another. So, we need to start becoming better neighbors and making better neighbors by uh, getting people on board and educating people and spreading. I like to say radicalize your neighbor, right? Because it's funny that we say not saying that because it's like, hey, I think you should homeschool your kid. I think that you should eat fresh food and not all the processed junk that's in the grocery store. Um, I think that you should read some economics books from Mises Institute. I think you should consider where you're going to live and if you're going to kind of homestead or if you're going to participate in a farm co-op or whatever it is, like those that's radicalizing as really just getting people to empower themselves to realize that um, we ultimately are in control of ourselves, defend ourselves. Nobody's coming to save us, so we need to save one another and protect one another so that it all it all uh, turns around and helps everybody out. So uh, I guess I'm coming up on 45 minutes here, uh, and I've kind of got everything tested out. I guess looks like comments. I've only got one comment. So I don't know. I have to test that out and kind of play with it a little bit and see if maybe I did something wrong because um, the X comment should be coming through here, but for some reason it doesn't even look like it will allow it to come through. So I have to figure out what that's about. But um, hmm, okay. Anyways, so if anybody has any questions or anything, I'll kind of coast out, see if anybody does want to chime in, and if not, I'll probably close out here in a minute. And then I'm going to try to, um, while I'm waiting to see if anybody has anything, um, I'm planning on doing like every other Friday, doing a podcast. I would like to kind of keep it open to where it's kind of Q&A. I may have some guests, like some friends of mine, or maybe special guests and stuff. I've reached out to a couple of people that have bigger followings, you probably know, that are kind of tentative. Um, so trying to get people on, kind of do a little round table, a little Q&A, a little update on what's going on with any type of sales or special releases and stuff or whatever with the brand. And then also I am going to start working on my time capsule series. So I did one. If you go to my YouTube, if you're not on my YouTube, if you go to my YouTube, I've done a couple of interviews with some friends of mine, including a couple with my friend Sterling, who's a Navy vet, who's super smart, has a lot of good stuff to say. We covered stuff like the Rittenhouse verdicts and everything. And then my first podcast was actually interviewing David Thibodeau from, he was a survivor of the Waco siege. So we had a good hour and a half, 2 hour podcast where I just kind of deep dove and asked him questions about like everything that happened and tried to get a feel for uh, all the details and stuff wherever that you may not see in propaganda and media. So that was really cool. So I did that show, and then also I have a show that I talked to Larry Sharp. If anybody's in the libertarian circles, you know who Larry Sharp is. Fantastic guy, awesome interview. Audio's kind of messed up, but it's still watchable. And then just recently, a couple months ago, I actually had on Jody Plauché, Gary Plauché's son, which everybody knows the shots all around the world. And that was a very interesting interview. Got some details that I wasn't aware of the story from talking to Jody. He's a super nice guy, and now he's been on some bigger podcasts I've seen recently, so that's cool for him. But yeah, so if you want to check those out, you can go to my YouTube, and those videos and stuff are there. But then going forward, I'm going to do a time capsule series. I would like to try to interview people. They don't have to be anybody special. They could just be somebody's grandma, grandpa, or whatever. But trying to interview people that lived a life before us. Because I used to have all these really cool conversations with my Nana. And my Nana was born in the 30s, and she was born in Coal Mine Town in eastern Kentucky. And so we used to have all kinds of crazy conversations, and I'd ask her what it was like. Did she remember, where she was whenever JFK was assassinated? And, what was it like in eastern Kentucky going through like the civil rights movement? All those types of things that you never know just by reading a book. You can get a certain perspective, but I wanted to see like what she remembered, and she gave me all kinds of cool little tidbits and little stories about relationships that she had growing up with different people around town. That kind of blew my mind based on what Kentucky's known for and what I was always told Kentucky was about. But from a racial racial stance. I was always taught that like if you're from Kentucky, you must be racist, and especially if you're from Eastern Kentucky down in the hills. But listening to the story she told, it painted a different picture. Not to say everything was through rose-colored glasses, but it was kind of sweet, some of the things that she was saying. So I really wish I had recorded conversations we had, because I miss her. But also she had a lot of really cool things that I think other people would have found interesting that we talked about in those conversations. But sadly, she was one of the victims of medical malpractice during COVID. And they gave her run death is near, and didn't have a chance to stop them. So it was super traumatic, irritated the living mess out of me, and now I regret not recording those conversations. But now going forward, it's inspired me to find other people that have lived through different eras, different periods, and sit down with them maybe just for 30 minutes, an hour, depending on what they have to say, but then share it with everybody and cut it up and just share it so that we can have more than just what we see around us, because the news cycle is spinning like this, and it's easy to lose sight of things that are real at a different time and what the perspective was. And it's always good to compare notes, where people were, where we are now, what they were doing different, what was working, what wasn't, what we can hindsight look back and say, you thought that was working, but it really wasn't a good thing. So hope to start that back probably sometime in the next, I don't know, maybe a month or so. may take me a little bit more time to kind of figure out how I want to record it and set it up, because I want to give people options of different ways that they can do it. We can do video, or we can do just audio only, or things of that nature. So we'll see. But I want to do that, and then I'll do, like I said, I'll do my lives every so often, like every other Friday is what I'm aiming for, and maybe I'll have a little bit different setup. We'll see. I think that this is okay. It's not anything special in the background, but it doesn't really matter. The cat's just scratching and going crazy, anyways. So, but I appreciate. I mean, I got 19 people showing up live. I was honestly expecting, that there's a possibility that there'd be 0 people tuning in. So I appreciate the people that did tune in. And if you're watching this after recording, check me out. Going forward, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, especially on X. It's where I do most of my work. And check out the website at whotouchedit.com. And like I said, the sale will be live, and then I'll make a post so everybody else that didn't watch this will be able to uh, jump on. Hey, Brandy. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. It's a little weird. I've rushed this one a little bit, but I'm looking I'm looking to do more lives, more consistent lives. Maybe I might do an outdoor setup, but y'all just have to bear with me because I live in Florida, the land of freedom and loud trucks, so people will be buzzing by. But I think I can set it up to where the mic won't eat up a bunch of that noise. So maybe we'll do that, because that'd be kind of cool. Give me a little bit more freedom to do stuff. Maybe I can smoke a cigar or something. But anyways, like I said, check out the website, whotouchedit.com. Make sure you subscribe to the email so you can get free shipping as long as you stay subscribed to the emails, which I don't spam. You can ask Brandy. I barely send any emails. I'll send them occasionally whenever new things come through. But I don't like spamming people. I get for research purposes, I get grunt style emails like 4 or 5 times a day, and I'm like, I don't want that. I know most people don't. I still want to sell my shirts, but I don't want to clog up your inbox. It's just ridiculous. So I'm not gonna spam you, but definitely at least take the free shipping. Log in there and subscribe to the emails, get free shipping, and then you can enjoy free shipping with 25% off hoodies, shirts. I got a bunch of new stuff that's been recently loaded. I have to go back in and fix some hoodies. So if you see a design that you want in a hoodie, you can reach out to me and I'll expedite, make sure that I get it all set up. But I'm going to work on that this weekend to make sure that any shirt design is also available in a hoodie, because I know a lot of people that aren't in Florida are getting ready to start experiencing colder weather soon. So it'll be hoodie season very, very soon. And it'd be good to get some deals on that. So like I said, if you have something specific that you're looking for, I can try to put that at the top of my list and get it done for you. But other than that, I appreciate everybody that jumped on and checked everything out. And I'll try to get the X comments situation figured out, so that I can see everything in one place next time. But hopefully everything else is good. Audio's good. All right. Well, thanks again for tuning in to Who Touched the Thermostat. I know it's been kind of a wacky thing. Every other Friday, I'll try to be back, and definitely check out the website, check out the sale, and I'll see y'all on the web. Peace.